What started out as a quiet evening in Atlanta has turned into one of the messiest conflicts that lovers of hip-hop and love have ever witnessed. The cameras captured the tension so thick you could feel it through the screen when Karlie read, clearly angry, lost it on Yandy in a way that no one had predicted. Both the actors and the audience are in disbelief at a mystery surrounding Rasheeda, which is linked to the startling disclosure. Production-related sources are speculating that this wasn't just another camera conflict. It was pure chaos. Insiders claim that Spice didn't only leave because she was outraged over what she had heard. Her loyalty to everyone concerned is now under scrutiny. Within minutes, social media erupted, with fans calling it the most explosive moment of season 13. Was Karlie finally standing up for a friend? Or was this all a part of a bigger plan that no one saw coming? What exactly is Rasheeda's secret that everyone is talking about behind closed doors? Put on your seatbelt because this is more than just drama. An event of this nature might fundamentally change the scandal. I could change the entire dynamic of the Atlanta cast forever. The evening had started, just like any other day of filming. When the cast assembled at a chic rooftop lounge in downtown Atlanta, cameras were set up to record every detail. There was light drinking, laughter, and that age-appropriate atmosphere where everyone acts normal while waiting for the drama to unfold in silence. But no one expected the escalating conflict between Yandy and Karlie to blow up. When it happened, the fallout would rock everyone in the room. People connected to the production claimed that Karlie had been repressing her anger for weeks. Rumors about Rasheeda's purported secret had been going around. Everyone knew that Karlie would be the one to reveal everything, even if nobody had the courage to confront her. That night, she walked into the lounge ready to blow up, her heels clicking against the floor like warning shots. Her energy was bright and focused, and everyone could feel it. The first subtle clues were small jabs during casual conversation. When Yandy casually brushed off any mention of the ongoing rumors while talking about her new business venture, Karlie was not amused. She leaned closer and asked Yandy if she thought it was best to keep secrets from the group. She spoke in a cold, silent voice. Yandy dismissed the tension with a joke at first, but it was clear. "You know what? I don't understand," Karlie said, lowering her voice an octave. "The one sentence, how you can smile in everyone's face, but still be hiding the one thing that's got everyone out here talking," changed the entire mood of the event. In the middle of her sip, Spice, who had been drinking, silently froze. Erica glanced around nervously, sensing that something important was about to happen. Rasheeda wriggled in her seat, her eyes darting between Karlie and Yandy. As the conversation grew louder and everyone in the lounge became aware of the impending storm, fans who were lucky enough to be nearby started recording footage that would later flood social media. Witnesses say that while Yandy tried to keep her cool, Karlie wasn't letting her off the hook this time. "You think you're the only one who knows the truth." Karlie became irate. "You're crazy if you think you can sit here and act like nothing is going on. Atlanta talks, girl." Yandy answered with poise and acuity, her voice possessing the polished calmness for which she is known. "You're constantly looking for a moment, Karlie, but this isn't about you, so maybe you should disregard it." That's when the tension started. Karlie hurled her drink so hard that the ice spilt over the edge of the glass. Leaning across the table and raising her voice over the cacophony of the lounge, she aimed her finger straight at Yandy's face and yelled, "Don't you ever tell me to sit anything out." The room appeared to stop breathing. "If you don't start telling the truth, I swear I will." The camera zoomed in to capture every flicker of emotion on the cast members' faces, and Spice writhed in her chair, clearly torn between wanting to stay and wanting to get away from the chaos as soon as possible. Rasheeda, who had remained silent until then but was now in the middle of the storm, spoke up at that very moment, her voice faltering slightly, exposing the calm exterior she had been trying to keep. It was too late to say, "Karlie, please," she said in a soft, almost pleading voice. "This is not the place. The place, girl, v places wherever the lies are," Karlie yelled, her eyes blazing, refusing to back down. "Why are all of these people out here acting crazy and defending you? No, we no longer do that for a secret musical composition that will later be made public." When Yandy realized things was going out of control, she stood up, her chair scraping loudly against the floor as her tone grew. More caustic, and her comments pierced through the dense tension. She yelled, "You don't know what you're talking about, so stop acting like you do. It's none of your business, Karlie. But that's what caused the crowd to go crazy. Spice stood up and muttered something under her breath before turning on her heel and leaving, clearly horrified by the extent of the situation. Spice didn't even turn around, as fans watching from outside the production bubble quickly noticed. But things were still falling apart. As Karlie and Yandy continued their intense back and forth, Rasheeda, who was now obviously upset, brushed away tears. Caught in the midst, the other cast members watched helplessly, unsure of how to defuse the situation without making things worse. For what fans are already referring to as one of the season's most memorable episodes, the cameras flawlessly captured every word, every glare, and every tear. People close to the case claim that what's being whispered about is more than just a trivial rumor. It's something profound and intimate that has the potential to permanently alter fans' perceptions of Rasheeda. The days that followed the altercation only served to fan the flames. Insiders believe that behind the scenes, producers were desperately attempting to find out how to deal with the aftermath from that evening. Not only because of the heated dispute, but also because of what Karlie implied. Social media was filled with videos, memes, and endless speculation. While some fans praised Karlie for finally speaking up and said she was the only one bold enough to voice what everyone else was thinking, others condemned her, claiming she went too far, and that the discussion ought to have taken place in private. One thing is certain, though, the Atlanta cast will never be the same. Once seemingly unbreakable friendships are now shattered. The fallout from that night sent shockwaves around Atlanta. Alliances are evolving, and the so-called secret can no longer be kept under wraps. Videos from the Rooftop lounge went viral on social media the next morning, with hashtags flying everywhere. Every frame, from Karlie slamming her glass to Spice walking away silently, was being scrutinized by fans. Production insiders disclosed that the tension on set didn't subside in the days that followed, despite Yandy's comment section turning into a battleground of allegations, defenses, and conspiracy theories. When filming resumed, the energy was dense, almost oppressive. Nobody wanted to be the first to bring up what happened, but the quiet was deafening. Everyone knew that unless the secret Karlie alluded to was addressed, the gang could not move forward. Conversely, Rasheeda had retreated. People close to her claimed that she rarely left her house, canceling events and avoiding calls from producers and fellow cast members. Even though Kirk tried to shield her from the commotion, the rumors continued. Bloggers were conjecturing wildly. Some said the secret had to do with money, others whispered about adultery, and some even hinted at family strife. When the cast eventually reconvened for a sit-down brunch that Erica had organized, the atmosphere was strained. Every hesitant smile, sidelong glance, and weak breath was captured on camera. Despite Erica's best efforts to start things off amicably, it was clear that no one was ready to act as though nothing was wrong. Karlie was fashionably late. Karlie slid into her seat across the table from Yandy, who was already sat. The first few minutes were agonizingly unpleasant, and the air between them was electric and sharp enough to cut. Her intensity was as intense as it had been during the altercation on the rooftop. With her head raised high as though challenging anyone, she entered the room wearing huge sunglasses. Rasheeda avoided looking at anyone. Spice, who had reluctantly agreed to come after initially saying she was done, sat silently at the far end of the table with her arms crossed and her face unreadable. And finally Erica broke the silence by clearing her throat and firmly but softly saying, "Look," even though she hadn't touched her food. "This cannot go on. The events of the other night were outrageous, and if we don't talk about them, they will only get worse." Karlie leaned closer, her voice calm yet low, and all she needed was that opening. "Is it the one thing that will make it better?" She looked to Rasheeda and said, "I think we should stop dancing around it." Dancing around it, and the table fell hushed again under the weight of what she had said. "This isn't your story to tell," Yandy remarked, shifting uneasily and finally looking up with slightly narrowed eyes. "Karlie, being in the public eye does not make you a hero," she says, captivating others with her calm yet chilly tone. Karlie smiled and laughed sharply and sarcastically. "You get sloppy just listening to." "Messy," she repeated, cocking her head. "I'm not the one with secrets, baby. You're afraid of what's going to be revealed, so don't try to turn this on me." After remaining silent the entire time, Spice eventually spoke something in a high-pitched, agitated voice. "You see, this is the reason I left," she exclaimed. "Because everything is getting unpleasant, and for what? To make everyone else laugh. To provide a topic for tweets? No, I can't do this. She sprang up again, more determined this time, and stormed out of the restaurant, her chair scratching the floor. I didn't ask for this, Rasheeda whispered gently, hardly raising her voice above a whisper. I didn't want any of this to come out this way. Cameras followed her, catching the trail as she wiped her eyes, clearly fighting back tears. Back inside, the tension only grew as Karlie's tone dropped a little, but her remarks remained sharp. I promise you it's already out there, so say it before someone else does, Rasheeda pressed as she finally looked up, her hands shaking slightly and her eyes moist as she set her serviette on the table. People are talking, and the music will get worse the longer you don't say anything. Yandy slammed her hand on the table, startling everyone. Enough, she screamed, her voice cracking. This isn't your place, Karlie. When or how someone tells their story is beyond your control. Even while you believe you are helping, you are actually making things worse. From there, the debates become out of hand, with voices overlapping and accusations flying across the table. Kirk put a comforting hand on Rasheeda's shoulder in an attempt to step in, but she shrugged him off, tears flowing down her cheeks. Eventually, the producers called for a pause to give everyone a chance to regain their breath. Members of the cast scattered. Some went outside, while others gathered in quiet corners and feverishly whispered about what had just transpired. Rumors about how damaging the secret might be started to circulate behind the scenes. Some crew members claimed to have overheard conversations that hinted at problems that went far deeper than anyone realized, involving not only personal relationships, but also professional reputations and the completion of the day's filming. Everyone was treading carefully because of the intense intensity, and the once-tight relationship between the women felt broken, with boundaries drawn and trust shattered. Fans on the internet, meanwhile, were devouring every aspect of the leak, and their speculations were getting stranger by the hour. But for those in the middle of the storm, the drama was anything but fun. The days following the catastrophic brunch were nothing short of anarchy. Every blogger, podcaster, and gossip page had something to say, and social media wouldn't let the subject rest. For Karlie, the urge to tell the truth had become nearly compulsive. For Rasheeda, the pressure was mounting. And for Yandy, the fear of everything spiraling out of control was becoming unavoidable. While other people supported Karlie since she was the only genuine person in the room, Yandy's name was dragged through the mud by fans who accused her of manipulation, control, and spice. Some fans thought she was dramatic for leaving the circus, while others said she was the only one with the intelligence to do so. Rasheeda's home was anything but peaceful. Kirk tried to be the voice of reason, telling her to take charge of the story before someone else did, but she was immobilized. Hundreds of comments urged that she spill the tea every time she opened her phone. Friends who hadn't spoken to her in months called to see how she was doing, but it was clear from their tone that they were only looking for information. However, Karlie wasn't going to back down. Late one evening, she went live on Instagram. She remarked to her supporters, "Y'all don't even know the half of it," in a low, serious tone. "I've been quiet for too long, and I'm done protecting people who wouldn't spit on me if I were on fire." Following the live performance, fans went into a frenzy, scrutinizing every word, glance, and pause. Within hours, the rumors reached a fever pitch as bloggers started posting "Karlie exposes Rasheeda" headlines. In contrast, Yandy was handling her own fallout. While some of her admirers praised her maturity, others charged that she was gaslighting the situation and attempting to blame herself. Sensing ratings gold, the producers pushed for another group meeting, this time in a neutral location away from nearby tables and restaurants with flashing cameras. In a composed, well-written post on her Facebook, she said that sometimes protecting someone entails taking care of oneself. "That's fine with me, but keep in mind that nothing is meant for public consumption." They hired a secluded villa on the outskirts of Atlanta, in the hopes that the privacy would promote more open communication. The tension was thick but quieter and more controlled when the cast arrived. Spice reluctantly showed up, her arms crossed tightly against her chest, her face showing nothing. Karlie strutted in confidently, though those close to her could see the nerves behind her bravado, and Yandy arrived last, her cool, as if she had practiced every move. The moment Rasheeda entered the room, everything changed. Her eyes were far away and her face was pallid, yet she was walking with a determination that had never been present before. Kirk followed closely following, his demeanor modest but guarded. Erica, who was playing peacemaker once more, attempted to keep things cordial as the producers gave the women a few minutes to calm down before gently pushing the subject further. "We all know why we're here," she whispered. "But perhaps we can accomplish this without shouting so much. At the very least, may we try that?" For a moment, her argument seemed to have some validity, and the room became silent. The only sound was the soft hum of the air conditioner. And then Karlie leaned in and spoke in a sharp, chilly voice. "Look," she said. "You people offered me no other choice, but I didn't want to do this in this way.